You're listening to the Spark Radio Network, Internet radio like you've never heard before. Innovation, creativity, and imagination are all said to begin with a spark. So fasten your seatbelt and take the ride of your life and listen for the spark.
You are listening to KLRN Radio, where liberty and reason still reign.
Most writers and radio show hosts know that to connect with your fans, you need to do more than just write books or record the latest podcasts. There are many different elements that go into forming an online platform, but there are also many hidden traps. To make matters worse, solid advice on how to survive the muddy waters is scarce. In the book Hidden Traps, I talk about some of the important issues of working with an online platform, highlighting traps that could put your physical or internet security at risk or be harmful to your reputation. Are your social media posts just links with a few disjointed words, making you look like someone who can't complete a sentence? Did your new website cost you more than you anticipated? Are you leaking your personal contact details across the web without even knowing it? Then you need Hidden Traps. Hidden Traps is now available in paperback and ebook from a variety of retailers, including Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and Kobo. Visit blackwolfpublications.com for more details.
If you're 85 or younger, would you like peace of mind and comfort for your family? We're Final Expense Direct with an urgent message for you. The average funeral today costs over $8,000, but the most you'll get from government benefits is $255. How will your family pay the difference? We can help. Our senior plans start as low as just $1 a day and pay up to $30,000 for a funeral and other final expenses. Peace of mind is easy. There's no medical exam. You'll have lifetime coverage, and your plan can't be canceled as long as you pay your premiums. Call now for free information about our senior plans. Answer a few simple questions and receive approval right on the phone. Plus, call right now and we'll give you a discount prescription card for free. Call 800-553-8687. That's 800-553-8687. Again, 800-553-8687.
KLRN Radio has advertising rates available. We have rates to fit almost any budget. Contact us at advertising@klrnradio.com.
Attention business owners and independent contractors. This is a money-saving message from Tax Mediation Services. If your business owes $20,000 or more in taxes, we can help you today, right now. Listen, dealing with the IRS is no picnic. It's an intimidating and extremely stressful process, and you don't want to go it alone. Our attorneys know every law, every tax break, and every possible opportunity to help you resolve and reduce your tax debt. And if you owe more than $20,000, you may be at the top of their hit list. So don't take your tax debt lightly, because it will not go away on its own. The IRS can seize your bank accounts, your home, and even shut down your business. Call our tax experts today at 1-800-783-0810 and let us deal with the IRS while you focus on your business. That's 1-800-783-0810. Again, that's 800-783-0810.
My son was in the Army back during Desert Storm, but even then he wanted an MBA. He looked at a dozen schools, but only one offered the online education and flexibility he needed while he was in a tent in Iraq. Grantham University. Turns out that Grantham's been delivering affordable, relevant college and advanced degrees for over 65 years. Heck, if they can deliver a quality education to a soldier in a tent overseas, think about the flexibility Grantham can offer you so you can earn your degree too. It doesn't matter how complicated or full your life is. If getting a degree is on your bucket list, you'll want to do what my son did. You'll want to call Grantham. Find out how easy it is to get started on your education so you can check that college degree off your bucket list. Call Grantham right now, 800-910-1370. That's 800-910-1370. Flexible, affordable, relevant. Call 800-910-1370.
Sometimes writers feel lost, unsure why a passage may not be working. It's takes another set of eyes to help us nurture our writing into full maturity. At Black Wolf Editorial Services, we strive to enable writers to develop and grow, offering manuscript critiques and line edits through a mentoring editorial style. We also offer assistance on generating a writer's bio for your websites. Black Wolf Editorial Services, nurturing your writing into maturity. For a full list of services, visit blackwolfeditorial.com.
Hello, America. Happy Hump Day. This is the last live Hump Day edition of I guess it won't be. But is the next to last live Hump Day edition of the year because I'll actually be doing a show next Wednesday. We will not have shows next Monday, which I'm not scheduled for anymore anyway. I'm still debating on whether or not I'm going to do one on Tuesday because that's a federal holiday for me. But anyway, this is Rick Robinson. We'll be coming to you live at the beginning of the America Off the Rails show here in just about 60 seconds. We have our resident PhD, Judy L. Moore, is going to be joining me. I have a feeling the conversation may go a little bit differently than when we had initially talked about doing this segment because everybody was up in arms about changes with the HHS language. Some of that has turned out to be maybe not as big of a deal, but I'm going to let her talk about that because, that's kind of why we have her around, that, and she's a really great lady. But we'll be back to start the show here in just about 60 seconds, so make sure you stay tuned for that. Coming up next on KLRN Radio as well, don't forget we do have a full lineup tonight, so we'll have the Conservative Curmudgeon Radio Show, followed by Jesse's POV, and then we will cap off the night probably with a replay of some kind because Stafford is still on break. And I'm going to stop talking now so we can get things started officially here. We'll be right back with you here in about 60 seconds. Stay tuned. Everyone loves liberty. Our rights come from God, not the government. So why are you letting other people tell you what's best for your health care? Exercise your freedom with Liberty Health Share. Liberty Health Share is a community of people who voluntarily share one another's medical costs. Liberty Health Share is founded on the idea that most people truly want to help one another. Healthcare sharing allows members to do just that as a true community that supports one another in times of need. Liberty believes people should make decisions for themselves and their families. Members are able to take back the freedom to make their own decisions about their healthcare. Freedom from guilt or doubt about how your money is used. You have the freedom to direct your healthcare, not to be dictated to by bureaucrats. Stop letting others tell you what to do and join a community of like-minded people. Exercise your freedom. Join Liberty Health Share and take back the control of your healthcare while helping those around you. Call Liberty at 855-58-LIBERTY. Again, that's 855-58-LIBERTY for more information, or you can check them out at libertyhealthshare.org. Again, that's libertyhealthshare.org.
Keep on doing what you do, Rick. You're my favorite host. Favorite host.
This freedom is anything but free. What we have here depends on those who will fight for what they believe. When we stand together, there's nothing that we can't achieve. This nation of people standing as one in the name of liberty.
Hello, America. Welcome to the program. This is Rick Robinson, the host of America Off the Rails. We're coming to you live right now from KLRNradio.com, where we do this thing every Tuesday through Friday night, 7 p.m. Eastern now, new time slot. Same show, me still ranting and raving most of the time. I do have a guest that will be joining us after the first break, so here in about 3 minutes, we'll have Judy L. Moore with us for the first half of the show to discuss the recent potential language changes for the Health and Human Services Division of the United States government. Apparently there has been some hullabaloo, I guess is a word we could use, about some words that the Trump administration supposedly basically said people couldn't use anymore. So these stories have actually reached international proportions at this point. As you may know, Judy is a host here on KLRN Radio. She's actually one of our international hosts. She does a show, I believe she does it about once a month, but I'll let her talk about that when she comes on in a second as well. Our Conversations in Science show, she also helps with a lot of the editing for the website, things like that. And she's also an author, so you may hear her commercials a lot because we play them a lot, talking about the books and stuff that she's written and different things that she does. So if you haven't checked her out yet, I do encourage you to do so. We'll have her on with us here in just about 2 minutes. But I just want to start out by saying today's been an interesting day, because I woke up this morning and according to the left, there are dead people in the streets everywhere. We're robbing from our children, and the GOP has just looted the country's coffers with this tax reform thing. I'm just curious how it is that, giving people more of their own money back has become like this cardinal sin. I don't really understand how that part of it works, but we'll save that part for the second half of the show, because we'll be talking about that some more. And I do want to encourage somebody to contact Rosie via Twitter, and you know who I'm talking about. Advise her to put down the nose candy and her phone. She has been tweeting like a mad woman all night, and it's kind of scary. Lots of caps lock, misspelled words, things missing. I swear, this is what happens when you use narcotics in Twitter. All right, so on that note, folks, we're going to take the first break of the show. Want to give about 60 seconds to our sponsor for this half hour, and when we come back, we will have our guest with us for the first segments of the show. Again, this is America Off the Rails. I'm your host, Rick Robinson. We'll be right back, so don't go away.
Attention business owners and independent contractors. This is a money-saving message from Tax Mediation Services. If your business owes $20,000 or more in taxes, we can help you today, right now. Listen, dealing with the IRS is no picnic. It's an intimidating and extremely stressful process, and you don't want to go it alone. Our attorneys know every law, every tax break, and every possible opportunity to help you resolve and reduce your tax debt. And if you owe more than $20,000, you may be at the top of their hit list. So don't take your tax debt lightly, because it will not go away on its own. The IRS can seize your bank accounts, your home, and even shut down your business. Call our tax experts today at 1-800-783-0810 and let us deal with the IRS while you focus on your business. That's 1-800-783-0810. Again, that's 800-783-0810.
All right, folks, welcome back to the program. Again, this is America Off the Rails. I'm your host, Rick Robinson. Now, without further ado, we do have a guest, which we actually don't do very often here. Most of the time, I'm usually the guy just kind of pontificating and giving you opinions. But every once in a while, I feel the topic deserves a guest. This happens to be one of them. I'm going to actually let her introduce herself now. Good evening, Dr. Judy Moore. How are you?
I'm okay. How are you, Rick?
I am doing all right. Although, it's December here, which means it's supposed to be cold, and instead it's like foggy, moist, humid. It's like driving my wife crazy because she's trying to make no-bake cookies and they won't set up because she's like, I'm trying to make things for the holiday baskets for the adults and none of it's working because it's humid.
Yeah, it's crazy weather everywhere around the world. We're supposed to be in summer where I am, which is in New Zealand, and it's overcast, it's windy, and I am seriously contemplating turning on my gas fire. I am that cold. But hey, that's okay. We just move on and we go on. That's okay. Right. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Dr. Judy L. Moore, and yes, I am a doctor. I have a PhD in astronomy and astrophysics. So yes, in a way, I am a rocket scientist, but I'm not. I'm actually an engineer by background. And I do host another show that's on KLRN Radio. And it turns out I'm the Monday slot. With the reprogramming and the restructure that we've done, Rick's taking Tuesday through to Friday, the 7 p.m., and I've got the Monday. So that's the way it worked. That's the new structure, and that's the new layout. So, yeah, I suppose that's me.
Yeah, no, and actually, you know what? I'm actually kind of glad it worked that way because, in between this show, the other shows that I do, the other shows that I produce, I'm literally like tonight, by the time it's all said and done, counting editing and getting stuff over to other affiliates and everything else, I will have put in 5 hours by the time I finally shut down tonight. So Mondays have actually kind of become the day that I don't have to really watch the news and I don't have to pick up my phone unless I want to because I don't have to worry about show prep that day. So actually it's worked out really well because it's been about 10 years since I've had a day that I wasn't doing something with radio or writing or something. And the bad thing is I miss some of it so much. I'm actually, because I've got a couple of folks that want me to start writing for them again, so I'm thinking Mondays might be the day that I start working on scratching out articles because I'm just a glutton for punishment, I guess, because I can't, I don't know. I finally get a night where I don't have to do anything and now I'm going to start doing stuff, whatever. All right, so let's move on to why we actually have you on because we do have a couple of commercial breaks in here, so it's going to kind of cut down the time that we have to talk. So when you originally contacted me, you were kind of beside yourself, so why don't you explain to folks what it was that we were initially going to talk about, and if things have shifted for you. Has there been anything that's changed with the story? Are you still as terrified as you were 48 hours ago? Because, yeah, you were kind of freaking out.
I don't know if I was freaking out. I was definitely stunned. Basically what it was is last week, Washington Post had released a newspaper article that had said that the CDC was going to be banned from using certain words. And those words were, and there were 7 words that were listed. Those words were vulnerable, entitlement, diversity, transgender, fetus, evidence-based, and science-based. And I was staring at this article when it came across my news feeds, and it came across my news feeds not from the Washington Post, because I'm sorry, I don't pay attention to the Washington Post. It actually came across my news feeds from one of my various science news channels. And I was looking at this going, surely I'm misreading this. Surely the person who has written this article has misinterpreted it. Something you should never take the word of one news source. You should always look at, and it was on CNN. It was on Fox. It was on all of these things, and it even hit the New Zealand newspapers, the press, and stuff, and all those other ones, and the Australian ones. And I was like, "Whoa, dude! I must be missing something here, because there's no way this has gone global of this whole thing." And I know why it went global. I know what had happened, but the whole concept has me a little bit concerned. And even though there has been a retraction that has recently, well, it's not really a retraction, it's an official release from the CDC saying, no, we have not been banned from using words. Even though that's still come out, I still have a little bit of concern, because I know that at some point along the line, there was something that started this, and it would have been some science report that was being looked at by somebody probably in the Trump administration and saying, no, you need to change this and re-edit this and change these words. And those 7 words got highlighted for whatever reason, and it probably just some pleb decided to leak it to the press, and it just blew out of control. But the fact that you are going through and targeting these words, you have to look at what had happened. And there was even, according to the CNN, there was actually a press conference with the HHS about these banned words. And you had the spokesman, Matt Lloyd, talking about this to the CNN in the statement to the CNN about what the reality is. And even his comments were a little bit dubious on what they are wanting the CDC to do. It's just, no, whoa, so I have to admit, I'm still a little bit concerned, but I'm rest assured that the CDC is not banning these words, which is good, but still.
Well, I mean, just to give you a bit of maybe a slightly different perspective, the one thing that I've kind of noticed, and it's been pretty bad over here, most of the media, and this is a hard thing for me to say, but most of the media has a decided Trump bias. So I don't know what started the snowball, but the fact that it went all the way around the world before anybody could say, that's not exactly what's going on, doesn't really surprise me, because CNN has become the anti-Trump network. I mean, he could literally create 5 million jobs overnight, and they would still be talking about the Russia email things that they haven't been able to prove anything for, because that's all they talk about 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And then they'll talk about what he tweets and how he shouldn't tweet. Look, I don't like him using Twitter either, but the simple fact of the matter is he feels like it's a direct connection to the public, and a lot of the people that have supported him like the fact that he tweets directly to them, and that he doesn't he doesn't sugarcoat things. And look, I'm not used to politicians not being polished and not knowing when to say the right things and not knowing how to behave. But we didn't elect a politician. Hell, I didn't even vote for him. But even I'm willing to give him a shot. The whole thing with me was the fact that this went to the point where it was globally viral before anybody was able to say, not so much.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the reasons why I've actually taken a good interest in this, because it actually shows how social media actually perpetuates things, how social media gets out there so quickly. I mean, I don't know if you've seen quite a few come across my feed on a regular basis of some school that's trying to show children how posts and how information can spread around the world and how that information just goes like wildfire. And this is a perfect example of where it has gone like absolute wildfire. You had Washington Post, which is supposedly a reputable news source, put something out and everyone picks up on it and it suddenly goes boom. And it came across my feeds through my science magazines. It wasn't through your normal traditional news outlets. It was a science magazine. And it was interesting from that perspective, because scientists, we take news in a slightly different fashion. Don't tend to just take one source of information. You were saying something?
No, actually, I was not. Unfortunately, my hamsters were losing you again, so it probably started a bit of a feedback loop. All right, so we've got to take a break anyway. So let's get the commercial break out of the way. Maybe I can get the hamsters whipped back into shape while we're on commercial. When we come back, you've actually kind of brought something up that is kind of also in your wheelhouse. So I'd like to kind of keep talking about the social media aspect of making things go viral, because I've noticed it more and more myself, and what we might be able to do to maybe correct some of that, at least in our own lives, instead of just seeing a story come across somewhere and suddenly going, oh, let's run with it. Because yeah, even I can admit I have been guilty of that, and I'll talk about what happened to me when I started my first Facebook page way back in the day, because I thought something looked like a certain logo, and it turns out it was something else, and I'd put something out all over my page and then realized that it was an oopsie. But we'll be right back, and we'll talk about that along with a few other things while we finish up this segment with Dr. Judy Moore right here on America Off the Rails. We'll be back here in about 3 minutes, so stay tuned.
You're out here acting so tough, and now I'm calling your bluff. Black hoods and no faces.
My son was in the Army back during Desert Storm. But even then, he wanted an MBA. He looked at a dozen schools, but only one offered the online education and flexibility he needed while he was in a tent in Iraq. Grantham University. Turns out that Grantham's been delivering affordable, relevant college and advanced degrees for over 65 years. Heck, if they can deliver a quality education to a soldier in a tent overseas, think about the flexibility Grantham can offer you so you can earn your degree too. It doesn't matter how complicated or full your life is. If getting a degree is on your bucket list, you'll want to do what my son did. You'll want to call Grantham. Find out how easy it is to get started on your education so you can check that college degree off your bucket list. Call Grantham right now. 800-910-1370. That's 800-910-1370. Flexible, affordable, relevant. Call 800-910-1370.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 1-800-516-7602 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 1-800-516-7602 to take your call right now. Call 1-800-516-7602. That's 1-800-516-7602. Again, 1-800-516-7602.
Attention business owners and independent contractors. This is a money-saving message from Tax Mediation Services. If your business owes $20,000 or more in taxes, we can help you today, right now. Listen, dealing with the IRS is no picnic. It's an intimidating and extremely stressful process, and you don't want to go it alone. Our attorneys know every law, every tax break, and every possible opportunity to help you resolve and reduce your tax debt. And if you owe more than $20,000, you may be at the top of their hit list. So don't take your tax debt lightly, because it will not go away on its own. The IRS can seize your bank accounts, your home, and even shut down your business. Call our tax experts today at 1-800-783-0810 and let us deal with the IRS while you focus on your business. That's 1-800-783-0810. Again, that's 800-783-0810.
All right, folks, welcome back. So we've been talking about the whole HHS CDC thing and the effects of social media on making stories that aren't necessarily truthful go viral. And I've actually been... I won't say that I made it go viral, but I will tell you that there's been at least... Well, actually, I can think of 2 occasions off the top of my head that I have accidentally post something that would have been considered satire. One of them was honestly not my fault. So I didn't realize, like, I knew about The Onion, you know, the satire magazine here in, I think they're run out of America. But anyway, so there's a satire magazine here calling themselves The Onion. So they don't mince any words about the fact that they're satire. There are some magazines that kind of leave it for you to find out, which is where it gets interesting. But one of the things when I put together one of my first Facebook pages, I had seen a video put together and they had a logo at the bottom of it that looked like CNN, but it turns out it was ONN, which was the Onion News Network. They had a video of a guy, and I'm looking at it on YouTube on my phone, so it's not like I can really see who it is, but it was a legitimate looking picture of the well on the floor of the Senate, and a dude talking about like wiping people out and stuff, and I'm like, this cannot be real. So I I listen to it some more, and I just, and it's like 2 a.m, and I've been up doing stuff on the page most of the night, so I'm like, you know what, this looks legit. It actually, and then, like I said, in the corner, it looks like it was from CNN, so I went to my computer, I pulled it up, looked at it a little closer, it still really looked like the CNN logo, so I'm like, well, obviously, if it's got CNN on it, this is good, there's got to be something going on. So I post it, so I get up the next morning, like 7 a.m., and I'm getting ready for work. Some guy's like, this was The Onion, right? And I'm like, no, I didn't know they did video, but thanks for pointing that out. Thank you. So yeah, fun times. But one of the reasons I wanted to hold you over and talk about this real quick is that's actually something that you've kind of put a book out about recently, is social media. So you actually are kind of one of the go-to people for me when there's things about social media. I refer to your book quite often. But one of the things I wanted to talk to you about is somebody that's, delved into the realm of social media a little bit for publications and promotions and things like that. Can you think of any way that we as everyday Americans could kind of stop things from happening that just happened where you're getting stuff in your feed? I know that you had mentioned initially, and you were kind of cutting out, and that's kind of why I wanted to come back to it. You had mentioned getting things from multiple sources, which I do definitely agree with. But in this instance, that really wouldn't have helped because there were multiple sources.
Yeah, I mean, that was the thing. There was multiple sources in this particular instance, and I was waiting for CDC to say something or the HSS to actually say something. And because those were the things that were, these were the agencies that were going to be important and were going to watch what was going to happen. And you had to have something in the end, eventually come out from one of those 2 organizations to confirm or deny what's going on. And of course, everybody's going to deny it because the backlash associated with something like this is going to be derogatory no matter how you look at it. But yeah, there was still this, what's going on? How you can stop it from spreading, unfortunately, once it's gone to that point where reputable news sources are picking it up and flying with it, that's it, it's out there and it's gone. You can't stop it. But as a individual, you have to look at this, and you have to look at it from a critical perspective going, is this real? What are the implications? And use your brain. I mean, you have one, use it. When that article first came out, when I first saw it, I was looking at it, and it came from my science magazines. I was looking at it going, this can't be real. I must be missing something here. And I posted that on my various different feeds of Facebook and Twitter and said, what am I missing? This can't be real. This has got to be wrong. This isn't right. This doesn't ring true to me. Something is wrong. And the fact that you have one person saying that, you'll get others starting to think the same, going, yeah, no, maybe this isn't real. Maybe this is wrong. Maybe something's not quite right. And it will eventually trickle through. And then, of course, once the CDC had released their press release, everything seemed to have trickled away and die away, which was great. But we now have this stigma of going, what else could potentially go out of control? It is an interesting experiment. I have it come through on my social media feeds coming from various different children around the world, various different primary school children, elementary school, looking at a social experiment of how Facebook and Twitter and all of these different social media sites, how things just spread and how wide it spreads and where it spreads. And some of them, they actually go through and they ask you to comment where you're located so the children can see where it's gone, how the message has gone. Because there are some countries in the world that won't see certain messages because of the way Facebook and Twitter and their local internet works, if they even have local internet, because we know that some countries don't, and that's a completely different issue. But understanding that once you put it out there on the internet, it's out there. You can try to delete it all you want, but it's out there. And that is something that I think this generation of children and teenagers, it's the first generation ever that's had to think about those sorts of things on a global scale. I mean, when I was growing up, when I was a teenager, if you wanted to pass derogatory notes past somebody, or you wanted to spread a rumor about somebody, you didn't have this ability to post a video about someone who's nasty or whatever. You didn't have that. So you could still water it down. I'll give you an example. It's probably okay to do it here, but basically it was about 2-3 weeks ago in New Zealand, a video had been posted by a bunch of teenagers, and they were all between the ages of 11 and 16 in Southland, down towards Dunedin and a bit further south. And they posted this video, and it was of them torturing a kitten to death.
That's terrible.
It was, oh my God, the thing went viral, and it was really debilitating quite a bit. The SPCA, the Society for Protection of Care of Animals, they deliberatized about whether they post this video or not. And in the end, the decision was to post the video because it was now a criminal case. The thing is from the video, they were able to identify the perpetrators. Those children are now being prosecuted in the court of law for maltreatment of an animal. And it was because of social media. If that had happened when I was a teenager, which it probably did, those kids would have gotten away with it. They would have had no clue. But it's because of the way the internet works, the way the social media works, and the way things happen, those kids are now being prosecuted, and they happen to have death threats against them. There are people who have gone onto social media that are so outraged by this video who are now threatening to kill these kids. It's a whole different world, and social media is what's blown everything out of control. as a parent, it's really hard to explain to our children that you have to be careful. You can't just take a photo of your breasts and put it out there, because it's out there. It's gone, and you can't get it back.
Yeah, despite what kids today think, once something's on the internet, even if you delete it, it's never actually really gone.
Yeah, someone will be able to find it. And I've heard of instances where people have actually lost their jobs because of something they've said on Twitter 5 years ago. 5 years ago.
Yeah,
and that's the point.
I don't necessarily agree with that either. All right, well, we are well past the bottom of the hour at this point. Did you want to hang around anymore? We're actually going to change topics and start talking about some local stuff, so I'm not sure you want to hang out for that, but I'll give you the option.
No, that's okay, Rick. That's cool. You can talk about your local stuff. If you want me to come back about the social media, I am more than willing to come back about it. And if anybody wants to talk to me about social media or the various different things, or for that matter, how I feel about some of these words that were supposedly banned, feel free to contact me on Twitter. And that's at Judy L. Moore, or on Facebook. I'm Judy L. Moore. You can contact me on my website, judylmoore.com. Surprising.
Consistency in marketing is key. All right, it's been my pleasure having you on. We actually will probably set up a time to have you come back on, because that's another social media is kind of the new king, and I think that's part of what helped Trump win the election. Whether I really wanted him to be the guy that won it or not, because he was one of the people that was using it effectively. So yeah, we will definitely set up a time to have you back on, folks. This is America Off the Rails. I'm your host, Rick Robinson. We are well past the bottom of the hour, so I have to take a break, or somebody's going to start yelling at me. We'll be right back in about 4 minutes. Stay tuned.
You're out here acting so tough, and I'm calling your bluff. Black hoods and no faces.
Everyone loves liberty.
We'll take it out to the streets. That's where we can meet. You bring your sticks, I'll bring gauges.
People who voluntarily share one another's medical costs. Liberty HealthShare is founded on the idea that most people truly want to help one another. Healthcare sharing allows members to do just that as a true community that supports one another in times of need. Liberty believes people should make decisions for themselves and their families. Members are able to take back the freedom to make their own decisions about their healthcare. Freedom from guilt or doubt about how your money is used. You have the freedom to direct your healthcare, not to be dictated to by bureaucrats. Stop letting others tell you what to do and join a community of like-minded people. Exercise your freedom. Join Liberty HealthShare and take back the control of your healthcare while helping those around you. Call Liberty at 855-58-LIBERTY. Again, that's 855-58-LIBERTY for more information, or you can check them out at libertyhealthshare.org. Again, that's libertyhealthshare.org.
My son was in the Army back during Desert Storm, but even then he wanted an MBA. He looked at a dozen schools, but only one offered the online education and flexibility he needed while he was in a tent in Iraq. Grantham University. Turns out that Grantham's been delivering affordable, relevant college and advanced degrees for over 65 years. Heck, if they can deliver a quality education to a soldier in a tent overseas, think about the flexibility Grantham can offer you so you can earn your degree too. It doesn't matter how complicated or full your life is. If getting a degree is on your bucket list, you'll want to do what my son did. You'll want to call Grantham. Find out how easy it is to get started on your education so you can check that college degree off your bucket list. Call Grantham right now. 800-910-1370. That's 800-910-1370. Flexible, affordable, relevant. Call 800-910-1370.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 1-800-516-7602 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 1-800-516-7602 to take your call right now. Call 1-800-516-7602. That's 1-800-516-7602. Again, 1-800-516-7602.
Attention business owners and independent contractors. This is a money-saving message from Tax Mediation Services. If your business owes $20,000 or more in taxes, we can help you today, right now. Listen, dealing with the IRS is no picnic. It's an intimidating and extremely stressful process, and you don't want to go it alone. Our attorneys know every law, every tax break, and every possible opportunity to help you resolve and reduce your tax debt. And if you owe more than $20,000, you may be at the top of their hit list. So don't take your tax debt lightly, because it will not go away on its own. The IRS can seize your bank accounts, your home, and even shut down your business. Call our tax experts today at 1-800-783-0810 and let us deal with the IRS while you focus on your business. That's 1-800-783-0810. Again, that's 800-783-0810.
Welcome back, folks. This is America Off the Rails. You know what? We jumped into the guest so fast, I haven't given a shout-out to the affiliates or much of anything else for the show. So before we get too much further, I want to do a little bit of a programming update for tonight. Again, we started off with me, yours truly, and then, of course, we'll go straight into the Conservative Curmudgeon Radio Show. After that, for tonight, we actually have a double shot of Justice POV. So there'll be two shows back-to-back from 9 to 11 Eastern, so make sure you tune in for both of those. It's gonna be a great night of radio. You know, I mean, it's winter break. Most everybody's shows are that they like to watch are on a break right now. TV sucks, as Grouchy likes to say. So hang out with us instead, right here on KLRNradio.com, where liberty and reason still reign. All right, so I want to give again a special thank you to my guest Judy L. Moore for coming on. And again, I had a feeling that conversation was going to go a lot differently than when it was first proposed to me, because the story had changed. But it was still important that we kind of talked about it, because and this is kind of going to be what I'm going to talk about for the rest of the show. And it's going to kind of be for the rest of the show. We started the new segment last night, What Really Trips My Trigger. The rest of the show is basically going to be that segment, because there's been all kinds of things that have happened in the last 24 hours, and they all fall into that same category. So last night, we have this tax reform package that was passed by the House, sent over to the Senate. They had to do some procedural changes. The Senate passed it. Of course, so, me as usual, I get done with everything else. I lay down. I'm trying to fall asleep, and me as the political news junkie, glutton for punishment that I am, I fall asleep flipping back and forth between news channels. They're all kind of talking about the same things, no matter whether it was Fox News, CNN, MSNBC, all of them, they're all basically talking about the fact that the Senate was, debating things and pushing things until the wee hours of the morning. And you kept hearing all these Democratic senators that were talking about how terrible this tax bill is going to be, how it's nothing but a scam, how it's not going to do this, it's not going to do that, it doesn't do enough. There's not enough there. The Republicans are lying to you. You're not going to get any money back. And it's all. But okay, so here's the thing that I guess I don't get. Because if it's not going to do anything, then how in the same breath are you telling everybody that everyone's going to die? There's literally, in the last 48 hours, been more people on social media screaming that America is dead. People are going to die in the streets. The poor are going to die. We've cut off life support on grandma. We've raided the coffers. We've killed all the children. Because we're the Republicans, and we're the evil people. And I say we in general terms because I'm a conservative. I'm actually not a registered Republican anymore. But I still can't break myself of the habit of lumping myself in with them, because I was one for so long. And honestly, as of right now, this is, again, going along with the things that are really tripping my trigger right now. There is lots of positive news, but you don't know that, because that's not what anybody's talking about. So we have 2.5 million jobs created since Trump took office. We now are about to hit the third straight quarter of GDP above 3%. You don't know about it unless you listen to talk radio folks like me, because nobody else is talking about it. We have the lowest African-American unemployment rate since the 70s. Now, yes, those are the tweaked numbers, I get it, but if you look at the U+6 numbers, they're much better than they were under the Obama administration. The economy as a whole is on an uptick. If this tax reform does a quarter of what the Republicans think it's going to do, then you're looking at basically we could get back to the point where we're anywhere from 4 to 5% GDP, which is unheard of anymore, because we're talking about the ability to spur on our economy. Now, I'm going to get into this in a little bit more detail when we come back. We've got to take a break to get things back on schedule. And then, in the last segment, we're going to talk about Rosie's little cocaine-fed Twitter rant last night. Yes, I say that as hyperbole. I have no justifiable proof that she was high when she tweeted, but if you go back and look at her feed, you can't say she wasn't either. We'll be right back in about 2 minutes. Stay tuned.
You're out here acting so tough, and now I'm calling your bluff. Black hoods and no faces. We'll take it out to the streets. That's where
My son was in the Army back during Desert Storm, but even then he wanted an MBA. He looked at a dozen schools, but only one offered the online education and flexibility he needed while he was in a tent in Iraq. Grantham University. Turns out that Grantham's been delivering affordable, relevant college and advanced degrees for over 65 years. Heck, if they can deliver a quality education to a soldier in a tent overseas, think about the flexibility Grantham can offer you so you can earn your degree too. It doesn't matter how complicated or full your life is. If getting a degree is on your bucket list, you'll want to do what my son did. You'll want to call Grantham. You can check that college degree off your bucket list. Call Grantham right now. 800-910-1370. That's 800-910-1370. Flexible, affordable, relevant. Call 800-910-1370.
Attention business owners and independent contractors. This is a money-saving message from Tax Mediation Services. If your business owes $20,000 or more in taxes, we can help you today, right now. Listen, dealing with the IRS is no picnic. It's an intimidating and extremely stressful process, and you don't want to go it alone. Our attorneys know every law, every tax break, and every possible opportunity to help you resolve and reduce your tax debt. And if you owe more than $20,000, you may be at the top of their hit list. So don't take your tax debt lightly, because it will not go away on its own. The IRS can seize your bank accounts, your home, and even shut down your business. Call our tax experts today at 1-800-783-0810 and let us deal with the IRS while you focus on your business. That's 1-800-783-0810. Again, that's 800-783-0810.
You're out here acting so tough, and now I'm calling your bluff. Black hoods and no faces.
All right, folks, welcome back. Hope everybody's enjoying the show so far. I can't believe it's already almost over. I don't know. The one thing that's a little bit different now is it always seemed like from 11 to, well, I guess, yeah, it was 11 to 12 Eastern. It always seemed like the show took a little bit longer to get through back then. Now that we're doing it earlier in the day, it just seems like it flies by and I look up and it's almost done. Now, when we went to break, we were talking about some of the good news that's going on that nobody's really telling you about. So let's talk about that a little bit more, shall we? Because there's all kinds of really, really good news if you know where to look, but nobody's telling you the good news because they don't want you to know about it. Because the Democrats right now, they've got this idea in their head that if they can convince you that this tax plan is as bad for the economy as the Obamacare plan was, that they have the chance to get seats regained in the midterm and actually start swinging the pendulum the other way. The problem is it probably will eventually start swinging the other way, but here's the biggest thing that I think might stop them. Because, you know, with Obamacare, we were told one thing and it didn't happen at all. So if like I said, even a quarter of the things that this tax plan, and it's not just a tax plan, we're talking about a complete tax overhaul. There hasn't been anything like this since 1986. This is actually, in essence, probably even more sweeping reforms than happened under Reagan. And you guys know what a fan I am and always have been of Reagan. Now, there are things that have came out about his presidency during the later years of it that I personally put at the feet of George Bush 41 as the vice president. And at that point, I think with his ties to the CIA, I think a lot of those things that started coming out for the last couple of years of the Reagan administration had more to do with him than anything else. And that could just be my hero worship. And it might be. You know, I'm not perfect, but Reagan's always been a hero of mine. And, you know, despite what all the leftists say, trickle-down economics does work. You know, that's one of the biggest things that if you go and you look at the numbers, you can see it. I lived through it. I remember in 1977, 1978, I'm 4 or 5 years old. I remember sitting in hour-long gas lines with my mom, sitting in our little 1970-something hatchback red Maverick, back in the back, where you would, like, your parents would be thrown in Gitmo if they let you ride in there today. I was always playing with cars and stuff in the little back of the hatchback. It was like the best part of the car. But, now you let your kids ride in there, you get thrown in Gitmo. But, I remember, sitting there for an hour or 2 hours. And, maybe it wasn't quite that long because I'm a little kid. But I do know that I remember there being lines around the block. And it seemed like it took forever for us to be able to get gas. And I remember there was more than once that we had waited in line for our turn and got up there. And all of a sudden the sorry no more gas sign came out. So if you want to talk about a complete and total turnaround, then we need to go back and look at the difference between the Carter administration and the Reagan administration. And then you tell me that trickle-down economics doesn't work, because it worked when it was applied. Because the simple fact of the matter is, it takes the richer people to make the economy work. And I don't mean just the filthy rich. I'm talking about the business builders. And they don't start out rich always. Some of them start out middle class, just like me. And eventually they build things up and they keep going and they keep swinging and they keep working, and eventually they are one of the people that's the top 1%. But that's always been the great thing about this country. The market stayed out of your way enough, and so did the government, that you could make your life better simply by hard work and motivation. That's what the government has been taking away from us. That is most of what Donald Trump has done. We've highlighted a couple of things that he didn't do well, at least until today. I'm waiting for the news to come across that he's actually signed it, but he may wait until tomorrow. But one of the biggest things about this tax reform bill that nobody's talking about is the fact that the mandate goes away. That's one of the biggest job-killing things in our economy right now, is that mandate, because it puts undue pressure on people and businesses, because they're mandated to offer things and mandated to carry things and mandated to pay for things that they don't need. That's going to be one of the biggest freeing things that we have. And then you talk about all these restrictive regulations that he's cut away within the last year. And even people that were his staunchest opponents have come out today in the news and said, you know what, overall, I approve of Trump's first year. And I have to say the same thing. I told him the same thing, as face-to-face as I can get, because he won't talk to me, because he knows that I wasn't a supporter of his in the beginning. I'm hoping that changes, because at some point I really would like to get him on the show. He's been on some shows with other folks that I know, so I know that he does some of our more, like mid-level shows, because I'm not Rush Limbaugh, but I'm not exactly the low guy on the totem pole either. I mean, I've got a pretty good audience, pretty good following, so I'm hoping at some point we might be able to get him on, because I would really like to start talking to the guy, and give him a chance to come on somewhere where they're not going to basically attack him every 30 seconds, but I'm not going to sugarcoat things with him either. But at the same time, like I said, there's lots of good news. You can go find it. Go look. The employment numbers are out. The housing market's on the way back up. The stock market's crazy. For me, stock market's never really been a great indicator of the economy because it's too volatile. But the fact that it sets 80 some odd records since he's taken office, that to me, whether you like it or not, it says something. Consumer confidence is up. Business confidence is up. This tax reform is going to increase that. We've already seen, at least from one company that I know, AT&T is planning on giving this tax break back to a lot of their employees as a one-time bonus. I've seen people complaining, well, if they really cared about making it a big thing and a recurring thing, then they should just increase their wages. I'm like, dude, you want to give me $1,000, $2,000, $5,000 all at once? I'm not going to tell you no. I would much rather have the money all at once, because you know what I could do with that? That could be an extra house payment I could make that month. Or I could pay down one of the credit cards instead of just having it spread out over the year. Yeah, is it going to be taxed because it's a bigger chunk? Probably, because they have to tax everything. But that's part of, again, you're going to get an extra 3% back on whatever that is. All right, so we've got one last break we've got to get out of the way. And then we've got just about enough time to talk about Rosie and her cocaine-fueled Twitter rant last night. This is America Off the Rails. I'm your host, Rick Robinson. We'll be right back.
You're acting so tough, and now I'm calling your bluff. Black hoods and no faces. We'll take it out to the streets.
My son
was in the Army back during Desert Storm, but even then he wanted an MBA. He looked at a dozen schools, but only one offered the online education and flexibility he needed while he was in a tent in Iraq. Grantham University. Turns out that Grantham's been delivering affordable, relevant college and advanced degrees for over 65 years. Heck, if they can deliver a quality education to a soldier in a tent overseas, think about the flexibility Grantham can offer you so you can earn your degree too. It doesn't matter how complicated or full your life is. If getting a degree is on your bucket list, you'll want to do what my son did. You'll want to call Grantham. Find out how easy it is to get started on your education so you can check that college degree off your bucket list. Call Grantham right now. 800-910-1370. That's 800-910-1370. Flexible, affordable, relevant. Call 800-910-1370.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 1-800-516-7602 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 1-800-516-7602 to take your call right now. Call 1-800-516-7602. That's 1-800-516-7602. Again, 1-800-516-7602.
Attention business owners and independent contractors. This is a money-saving message from Tax Mediation Services. If your business owes $20,000 or more in taxes, we can help you today, right now. Listen, dealing with the IRS is no picnic. It's an intimidating and extremely stressful process, and you don't want to go it alone. Our attorneys know every law, every tax break, and every possible opportunity to help you resolve and reduce your tax debt. And if you owe more than $20,000, you may be at the top of their hit list. So don't take your tax debt lightly, because it will not go away on its own. The IRS can seize your bank accounts, your home, and even shut down your business. Call our tax experts today at 1-800-783-0810 and let us deal with the IRS while you focus on your business. That's 1-800-783-0810. Again, that's 800-783-0810.
You're out here acting so tough, and now I'm calling your bluff. Black hoods and no faces.
All right, folks, welcome back. Well, it's the end of the show, which means you know what it's time for. So before we do that, we want to give out a little bit more information. So if you like what we're doing here, please make sure you follow along with the station at klrnradio.com. Also, follow along with me, if you wish, on Twitter at Radio Host Rick. Now, if you've just started listening to the show, then if you caught last night's episode, you know what's coming next. New segment, What Really Trips My Trigger. So I kind of did a soft version of that for most of the last part of the show, but this is going to be the official one, because what really trips my trigger is people on social media that have blue check marks, and even some other people that seem to be leftist-leaning people that are so up in arms over this tax plan thing that one of them, who shall remain nameless, Rosie O'Donnell, actually committed a felony on Twitter today. She actually threatened to she actually offered to bribe sitting public officials. That's actually a crime, even in the ask. And yet, I'm sure nothing will happen because she's a blue check on Twitter. Then we have some other people who actually will remain nameless, because I'm not even sure if they are legitimate accounts. But they put out a couple of things that were screen capped and brought to my attention through my feed, and they were calling for the death of Steve Scalise and wishing that the person that had shot up the Republican softball practice had a better aim, and that when it happened again, they hoped they had a bump stock and a silencer so that more people could die, because we were killing the country. This is what happens when you take the left's hyperbole literally. We're not shoving grandma off a cliff. We're not starving children. Children were starving under the Michelle Obama lunch program, by the way, but they won't be under the tax reform plan because we're putting more of our own money back into our own pockets. This is, and I saw somebody tweet this today, but I'm going to give you the honest truth about it. This is a failure of our education system in one sense, but it's also a testament to the work of the NEA, because we have now an entire generation of people, actually a couple of different generations, that think that basically we are deigned money to exist. That it's stuff that is granted to us for our work, not because we've worked for it, but because the government decides to give it to us. That's part of the problem. We have this entire society now who thinks that they work for nothing more than to provide money to the government to take care of the things that the government needs to take care of, but the government does a crappy job of doing it. I mean, we just spent $15 million last year on a CNG gas station in Afghanistan. They don't even have CNG cars in Afghanistan. Let that sink in the next time you decide that the government knows better to do with your money than you do. This is America Off the Rails. I'm your host, Rick Robinson. Stay tuned. We're about to hit the top of the hour. When we come back, we'll have Conservative Curmudgeon Radio right here on KLRNradio.com, where Liberty and Reason still reign. I will be back with you tomorrow night for Jen and Rick, and then, of course, this one. And then stay tuned after Grouch, because we have a double shot of Jess's BOV. I am Rick Robinson. We will see you tomorrow night. Stay tuned. God bless. And don't listen to the hype. It's all going to be okay.